Do you believe racism exists?
Absolutely.
And where's your proof of that?
My proof?
Yes.
When's the last time you stepped inside of a prison?
About a year or two.
Okay. Where was this prison at?
Up north.
Where?
Up in, I believe we were up in the Fresno area, somewhere up in there.
How many black people did you see there?
A truckload. Everybody and their mama.
He said a truckload. Everybody and their mama. A truckload. And just so y'all know, China Mac is the type of rapper. He's a freestyle rapper. He goes up against some of the roughest dudes in rap. And he likes to fight. He likes to fight a lot. That's just his thing. So he's extremely emotional when I say that. People who like to fight a lot don't like to be called emotional because they don't look at that as emotion. They look at that as being manly. They looking at that as being a soldier, being about it, not taking no sugar, honey, iced tea from anybody. Me, I look at that as being hyper emotional because you don't take the time to think over what's going on in your mind to relate to the person that you're speaking to and try to be objective and understand the other side before you just jump over the rails and be ready to just whoop somebody's ass for no reason.
I think that's every state.
Right.
I think that's a pure sign of racism to me.
That's your proof?
I think so.
Is your proof that blacks in prison, that's a proof of racism?
Yep.
Had they not done the crime, would they be doing the time?
Facts. If they had not done the crime, would they be doing the time? Now, a lot of people don't like to be asked that, especially if you're still in the urban communities, urban cities where a lot of crime is happening more than other places and people are going to jail all the time. They don't want to be held accountable or responsible or culpable for the decisions that they are making, their friends are making, their family members are making. They want to put all of the responsibility on other people as if, and this, it makes us look weak, to be honest with you, because I'm from the hood as well. And when you relate to the hood, you automatically want to play a victim and put the power in somebody else's hands as if they're controlling you with little puppet strings, which they do not. And if you follow me on Rumble right now, please make sure you join me.
Yeah, but it's bigger than the crime, my friend.
How is that?
Because it's all right. So, what I know about prison, and I have a lot of experience in prison. Prison is a business, right?
Yeah, of course.
Prison.
It should be.
So when prison is a business, somebody has to fill these prisons because the money needs to be made, correct?
Right.
Right. So like if you have a pig farm and you run out of pigs, what the is going on? You got to go find some pigs, correct?
Right.
Okay. So when you have a prison and there's a business, you have to find prisoners, correct?
Right.
Okay, hold on. Let me. Hold up. Let me finish. Don't you cut me off. Do not cut. Hold up. Don't ask me a question before I finish.
No.
What? Bruh, is he serious? You are a guest in Jesse Lee Peterson's house, bruh. This is not his house, but this is his office. This is his show. You are a guest. How are you telling him, whoa, don't cut me off. Do not cut me off. Are you seriously, bruh? Really?
Zip it. Listen, hold on. I'm not finished.
You're not asking my question.
I'm not finished.
If they didn't do the crime,
I'm not.
Why can't you answer the question? We don't have much time.
Finished.
Yo, hey Marcy, how you doing? Hey, Abby and Marcy, could y'all hit that like button for me? That would be amazing. Yo, he is extremely emotional, yelling at Jesse Lee Peterson like, zip it, I'm not finished, zip it. Bruh, relax, man. So we can have an actual conversation, bruh.
So let me finish and then we won't do this. Hold up. Yep, zip. Okay. So what I'm saying is that prisons have to be filled and somebody has to fill them. So if there are people in position of this country and the majority of the people are black, that's a sign of racism to me.
He ain't asked you for a sign, bro. He asked you for proof, not a sign. Like, come on, you're intelligent. I mean, although he's not sounding like the average Asian right now. He is not. As soon as he opens his mouth, you're like, whoa, are you sure he's Asian? I mean, he looks Asian, but is he?
So if they didn't do the crime, would they be doing the time?
how are the drugs brought into how are drugs, guns, and everything else brought into these areas? Why is this so prevalent in these areas and it's not in other areas?
Same bullshit as argument, man. Like the guns and the drugs are not brought into the hood by people from the hood. They don't have access to planes. They can't go out to Colombia and fly over freaking bricks of. We know that already. But if you grew up in the hood, you should know also. I mean, China Mac, he should know this, that we also decide to partake in it. Those are decisions that we make. We have free will, we have rights, and we're not just forced into cooking. We're not forced into selling it to our community. We're not forced into robbing and stealing and killing people for more and more money. We're not forced to be greedy. We're not forced to F up our communities for the sake of building a better life for our own families that's inside of our apartments at the time. Come on, bro. That is a weak conversation right there, man. I know there's a poop ton of people out there who lean heavily on that side right there. We didn't bring the guns in. We didn't bring the drugs in. So whose fault is it? It's the people who brought the drugs and guns in. They the ones that put them in our pockets and made us go out there and slang. Come on, bro.
That's a question, because that immediately results in crime, into crime. Do you agree?
No.
You don't agree. You don't agree. You don't agree that if we populate drugs, if we make drugs accessible right here and guns accessible right here to these people that don't have shit, that's not gonna increase crime?
It increases crime when you give into it. I mean, you're making it accessible. You're making it accessible. You don't have to give in to the BS that's going to ruin and destroy the progress of hundreds of years of from where we've come from, man. We've come a long way. But if you just put the drugs and the guns there and we say, ooh, drugs and guns, we need to go ahead and cook it up and start to ruin everybody's lives and start to kill people and start to rob people. Come on, man. That's the dumbest thing in the world. You're acting like we have absolutely no power whatsoever over ourselves.
That's not racism.
Why not? How is that not racism?
Because it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Racism does not exist.
It's a made-up lie. May I tell you why?
Amazing. Who is this guy? Like, what the hell? What the f am I at right now? What is this?
And so I grew up under the Jim Crow law. You ever heard of that?
Yes. So that's not racism?
On a plantation. Born and raised on a plantation in Alabama.
Wow.
Not one time did anyone in my family pick up guns or take drugs or fight people or blame anyone for their situation. And we grew up in a tin-roof home, outdoors bathroom. If that causes crime, why didn't I see it then?
He don't care about your testimony. He's just looking at the worst of things. See, the people who want you to buy into their victimhood, you have to believe in the worst, in the darkness of it all. You can't believe I don't want to hear your positive story. I want to talk about the darkness of it all. Let's talk about prisons. Let's talk about the communities that's tore up. Let's talk about the drugs and the guns.
Because maybe drugs wasn't made available over there. There's different things.
No, they're around.
Well, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and try to debate with you on what I believe. And I think a lot of people out there, hey guys, everybody, I think a lot of people is gonna agree that drugs and guns is gonna and poverty is going to enhance criminal behavior. It's just gonna promote it, right? So now, what I'm telling you is, how can you come from the Jim Crow, how can you come from a plantation and not believe that there is racism? Like, that's like to me. I don't even understand that shit.
Because it doesn't exist. It's a made-up lie by the children of the lie. So
you remind me of this officer that was in jail with me before. That he was an officer there.
Was he black?
And he was black, but he said that he wasn't black. He said he was actually French Canadian.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he really wasn't black?
No, he was black like you. He was black. I mean, are you black?
From a different country?
Are you black?
Just to let y'all know, I think racism is a real thing. I think it is made up. I do think it's made up, but a lot of things that are made up are now real things. I mean, look at the way of the world today. I mean, Way back in the day, people weren't walking around with fake butt cheeks, big old fake booties, but that was made up. That was created. Now it's a real thing. Fake lip injections, dentures are also made up. Fake teeth, come on, that's made up. Now it was a thing for only senior citizens who got to a certain age and just started losing their teeth, and they replaced them for their health purposes, and so they could still be able to eat something solid. But now it's a status symbol. Like if you're the rich and the famous, back in the day when you were rich and famous, you got Botox and all that other stuff. Nowadays it's a status symbol. People in the hood are getting freaking butt implants. A lot of this stuff has been made up and now is real. Here's the thing though. The way people look at it, they like to use racism as a crutch so that they can have something to fall back on when they fail. Like if they fail at something, they want to be able to fall back on something. So that's what they're doing right now. And they're like, but racism exists. Racism exists. That's the only reason why we're in this bad place we're in this bad predicament we're in, because racism exists. And we want to let you know that people are racist. And then if you don't buy into their ideology, then they start calling you names. But this right here is lacking any real back and forth, because he don't want to understand what Jesse Lee Peterson is saying at all.
As the ace of spades.
So, I mean,
but let me ask you this. If these people who take these drugs and commit these crimes and do anything, if they had character, if they were men and women of character, would they be doing that? Question
by Marcy. Van, do you think the in the White House belong to Hunter or Joe? I think they share it. I think they, that was in the house for father-son time. When they're having father-son time and they want to go ahead and take some booger sugar together. Yeah, they know they go to their little hiding spot inside the White House and they race over there and they giggle and Joe Biden will put his hands in Hunter's hair and mess it all up like he's a kid. You're like, what's up? And there you go, buddy. There you go, buddy. Here, take some of this nose candy.
Would they be doing what?
Killing and using drugs and things like that.
Listen, let me tell you something.
You're not answering that question.
No, I'm about to tell you something right now. I'm about to answer it right now.
You're not answering my question.
I am about to. Have you ever seen a drug addict?
Yeah.
Okay. Drugs people up. They turn people into different shit.
Right.
So when you put drugs into play, it turns people into different people. Different things start working.
Them before they take the drug that causes them to take drugs. What make them take
the same
drugs?
thing that's wrong with you, or the same thing that's wrong with me, or the same thing if they seen it all their lives, if they seen it, if they seen people using drugs all their lives, then it becomes normal.
My son grew up in New York. My son grew up in New York. He lived
Your son is one person.
He lived around
Your
people
son is
that
one
he saw
person.
take drugs.
Your son is one
person. And there were
person.
people in his family on his mother's side who drank, who took drugs, who did all those things. He had friends going through school who did it. He never did it at all.
That's one person. That's one.
How
can you judge a whole nation of people and a whole group of people by one person? That's
if a man or a woman or a child had a man or woman of character, would they do drugs?
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Yeah, man.
He don't even want to understand what Jesse Lee Peterson is saying. I don't think he has the capacity to understand. I believe that he went all this time down the wrong path, believing that he was intelligent, believing that he can communicate without having to be belligerent or vulgar. And he's finding out that sitting across from another man, a man who can actually communicate his point without trying to offend whoever's on the other side of the table, he's feeling like less of a man right now. So the only thing he can do is throw insults. And he is a little pissed off right now because he's coming from a real place. Don't get it twisted. He is coming from a real place. But the thing is, he's coming from a place that lacks understanding. And he don't care that he lacks understanding. What he care most about is that this man that's sitting across from me who is black will not admit to racism being real. And this is boggling my mind. And I'm trying to understand him, but I don't really know how to communicate with him. Same thing that happens in the hood. Like when somebody pisses you off, rather than talking, you go with the first emotion that you believe you're good at, and that's throwing hands, that's fighting, that's throwing insults, that's, you know, throwing a bottle of rocks or anything. So that's what he's doing right now. While he's talking to Jesse Lee Peterson, he don't know how to handle this man.
How you doing today?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Can you answer that? If they had character, they were men and women of character.
I think I answered this like 30 times already, man. Like,
I'm black and slow.
You're gonna keep on.
If they
you say you're black, you're slow. What did you say?
I'm black and slow, so it take me a little while. So
amazing.
If men and women of character, would they do drugs or kill others if they had character?
Explain of character. Explain that to me.
If they loved all people.
If they loved all people.
If they loved themselves, I will say if they loved themselves. Nobody loves all people. Nobody. I don't care who you are. You can claim you love all people, but guess what? Loving people comes with actions. Just like people say, I love God. You can't say you love God if you constantly sinning against him. You can't say that. And it's the same thing. And if we're learning, and God is love, that's in the Bible. So if God is love and we can't even love our own brother and sister, we can't claim that we love God. We have way too much vitriol for one another, especially for people who think opposite of us, especially for people who have a different political point of view, or they support someone that you don't. It's ridiculous, man. So people who are taking advantage of the drugs mostly do not love themselves. They don't. And they're trying to find a way to love themselves. So they take the drugs, so they take the alcohols. They start getting into a bunch of things just so they can find that emotion that they're lacking. But no, they don't love everyone else.
Would they take drugs?
Right.
I believe so.
You know, okay.
Yeah, nah, bro. You don't love people. Well, you claim you do, but you only love people who believe the same thing as you. Like, I got love for my hood. I got love for those who got love for me. Like, whenever you say stuff like that, I love people who love me. You know, there's actually people out there who say stuff like that. You can't move like that. That's ridiculous, man.